G'day, Starlo here. I've just picked up a couple of the new Vanford spin reels from Shimano. I've heard some really good things about these reels and I'm keen to give them a go. I got the 2500 and I got one of their compact 3000s as well. They're basically the same reel, but the 3000 holds a fair bit more line. I've spooled them both up with 4-pound Power Pro braid, one in yellow and one in white. Had to put a bit more backing on the 3000 than I did on the 2500. And I've matched them up to a couple of my favourite rods from the Shimano range. One's from the Anarchy range and the other one is from the TCurve Premium range, but again they're basically the same rods. They're the long cast rods in their ranges and they're 7 feet 8 inches long, which is quite long for a light spin rod, but I really like that because it gives you a bit more casting distance when you need to cover water. Also really good for land-based fishermen and those wading the flats. I've rigged them both up with the same leaders, 6-pound Oshia. I've got exactly the same squidgies on the same jig heads on both of them, and I'm going to give them both a bit of a run today and just do a bit of a shootout here, because this premium TCurve rod is about twice the cost or more of the Anarchy rod, and I'm going to find out how much difference there is, because matching the Vanford up to the premium TCurve really does take it up into a premium outfit, whereas matching it up to the Anarchy keeps it nice and mid-priced ranged. I'm sure they're both going to be great outfits. Let's see if there's much difference between the two. It's a cool, calm and overcast day and I'm headed out onto a coastal lake on the New South Wales far south coast. This system's closed to the sea at the moment, so no tides, but recent heavy rain has raised the level and discoloured the water. I'm going to kick off by hitting some shallow snags along the edges. This sort of fishing calls for long, accurate casts, so it's a good test for the Vanford and Anarchy rod combo. And right from the kickoff, I'm loving the gear. I just need a fish now, fingers crossed. Oh, that was a bite. That was a bite. Right. Oh, snagged. No, I don't want to go in there. Sometimes you can free your lure from a snag by twanging the braid. It's a great trick. Got it off. It's right in the zone too. I'm sure that was a bite that I had before. Attention to detail's critical. Even a few strands of fine weed on your lure can put fish off hitting. But despite repeated probing casts, no more hits. I'll have to go right back into the snag. It's going to be really snaggy in there. I'll just have to keep it up high in the water. Oh, that might be all right there. Yeah, it's weedy on the bottom. Getting weeded up a fair bit. I'll be probably better off with a little hard body in here, but I'll stick with the plastics. One right down through the centre there. Keep it up a little bit high in the water. Hitting a snag from different angles can sometimes do the trick. Snagged again. See if I can twang him off. Got it. That twanging trick has saved me more times than I can count. But despite my best efforts, I'm just not pulling any more hits. Plenty of mullet jumping, there's life in here. Swapping from one outfit to the other, I work an extensive stretch of snags for no additional hits. They just don't seem to be on the edges today. Nope. We're going out on the deep snags. Out through the wall of mullet. If you hook your lure up to a guide for travelling, use the frame, not the ceramic insert. You don't want to damage that. At least there's a few signs of life out here in 3 metres of water. It might look like I'm fishing blind out in the open, but there's actually a few logs and sticks lying on the bottom out here. They often hold a bream or two, so I'm working them over thoroughly. And I've swapped to the TCurve Premium outfit, hoping for that little edge in terms of feel. You need every advantage you can get when the fishing's slow. Now watch for the tiny twitch in my braid. Oh yes, that was a good bite. That was a definite bream bite. All right. Ooh, pantsed me too. Having your pants pulled down like that's a classic bream calling card, so I immediately hit the anchor function on the Motor Guide bow-mounted electric to lock myself on the spot. I also downsize my plastic slightly and apply some more S-Factor bite stimulant. I reckon I need all the help I can get. I've cast back into the same area and I'm really concentrating on tweaking that squidgy. There's one. Yeah. Oh, gee whiz. It's been hard work today. I think it's just too calm. They can be tough when it's like this. Feels like a pretty reasonable fish. I actually changed down to a smaller squidgy wriggler, one of the original ones. Oh yeah, he's not a bad fish. Oh, it's good just to get one. And I got him on the TCurve Premium. I must admit, I'm finding myself reaching for it in preference to the Anarchy. There's not a lot in it, but just got that little bit more sensitivity and a bit further casting. Oh, all right. There we go. One southern black bream. Not very big, but that'll do for a start. Just pinned in the lip. Look at that. I seriously wonder if I'd have even felt that fish's tentative tap through any other rod, let alone been able to pin it by a sliver of its lip. Just pinned. All right, I'll stick him in the live well. We'll see if we can find some more. Good to break the duck. Some days the difference between success and failure really can come down to the smallest of things. That hook just fell out. All right, let's see if I can get one on the Anarchy now. I'd clearly found some fish at last out here in slightly deeper water, so I swapped back to the Anarchy and Vanford combo, also still rigged with a little 2-gram jig head and a squidgy wriggler tail. Glances at the sounder revealed the odd fish, so I was reasonably optimistic. It seemed to be just a matter of covering some water, and these outfits are certainly perfect for that. Oh, I ate it on the drop. Oh, and he came back, or another one did. What the heck? I don't think that's a brim. First one ate it on the drop, and I missed it. And then another one just hit it straight away. Got a little tailer maybe? Yep. Ooh, luckily his teeth have stayed away from my light leader. You're not what I'm after. Now don't you chew up my squidgy. Not on a bio-tough now, so it probably won't survive. No, it didn't. Alright, mate. With a few tailor showing up, it seemed like a good time to switch to hard bodies. So I tied a little RT Broughton Lures shimmy onto the Anarchy setup in place of the squidgy. And straight away I was on again to what felt like another chopper tailor. A little bit better tailor on the hard body. Oh, don't bite me off. That's alright, his teeth are a fair way from the leader, luckily. Little chopper. No nicks in the leader, which is good. I'll pop him back in. There was definitely a bit of a bite happening out here, and they weren't all little choppers. The brim didn't mind smacking a hard body either. I was really impressed by how well the Anarchy rod was casting and working these little timber minnows. Its slightly softer action seemed really well suited to this role. I don't mind eating the odd yellowfin brim from the surf or ocean rocks, but I'd really rather release these older, slower growing southern blacks in our estuaries. They're too good to catch just once. For comparison purposes, I rigged a slightly larger hard body on the TCurve Premium and pinned straight into another fish. I went to the little, not so little hard body on spec and scored another nice brim. Again, not a monster, but reasonable fish. It's a lovely clean fish. This had turned out to be a reasonable session after a slow start, and it provided a great chance to evaluate the test gear. I was certainly impressed by those smooth as silk Vanford reels. They offer performance of the sort typically associated with much more expensive top-end models. I can see why they're selling so well. Likewise, that long-casting Anarchy flats rod. It's really good value for a stick with genuine Fuji hardware and very attractive cosmetics. I especially liked it with the hard bodies, and I reckon it'll become a bit of a favourite in that role. Very nice. Of course, the TCurve Premium Ultra Long Cast is in a class of its own for sensitivity, with that high modulus X5 blank and hollow monocoque carbon butt that literally acts as an amplifier for the softest tap. It's a plastics tweaking weapon. Very classy indeed. So what's my take on these two outfits? Well, absolutely brilliant. I can see why everyone's raving about these Vanford spin reels. They are a superb piece of kit. Not too many years ago I would have expected to pay quite a bit more for a reel of that calibre. You really do get a lot of bang for your buck with the Vanfords, and I can see myself using them a lot. Looked after, these would last you for years and years. And what about the shootout between the Anarchy rod and the TCurve Premium? Well, there wasn't much in it, but there is a couple of percentage points. I can definitely feel a little bit more about what's going on out at the lure with the TCurve Premium. If I pick up the tiniest strand of weed or I get a tiny tap, I feel it better with the TCurve Premium. I also reckon I might be casting, I don't know, maybe a metre further. Again, there's not a lot in it. The Anarchy is a wonderful rod and I'd be perfectly happy to fish with it, and I will fish with it a lot in future, but I do find myself reaching for that TCurve Premium when the going's tough like it has been today. The decision's got to be yours. There's a big price difference between the two. It comes down to how much you fish and how seriously you take your fishing. But there's definitely something in these ranges for everyone. All right, I'm going to catch a couple more bream.